Hi, this is with respect to wrong hopes. Wrong hopes are the false promises which we come across in our day to day life. When I say false promises, it is like we are going to blindly believe somebody, some promises, some assurances, or somebody is willingly try to default us by giving false assurances. In either case, the losers are us. So, in this case, we have to be wise enough to understand and identify who is genuine or who is not genuine, to trust or to accept the promises. There are many transactions which we do on day to day basis. While doing such transactions, we have to ensure that which is very important and which is like moderate kind of a priority with respect to transaction is concerned, and we have to do kind of a pre-analysis, or we need to ensure that the other side of the party or other side of the person or other side of the uh, activity which is going to take place, we have to ensure that that is appropriate enough to trust and to completely believe that. So, in any case, we have to be alert all the time before entering to any such agreements between the promises which we come across. It can be with respect to financial aspects, it can be with respect to professional aspects, it can be with respect to the personal aspects also, where those activities which we come across, we have to be extremely careful to filter it out, which is as per our requirement. And we need to be wise enough to know which is right and which is wrong. Having said that, let's go through some of the informations to know about it in detailed manner.
Wrong hopes, false promises, hidden agendas, broken trust. Hope is one of the most powerful forces in human life. Hope gives us the courage to begin again. It makes us trust people, accept opportunities, build relationships, invest money, take risks, and believe that tomorrow can be better than today. But hope has another side. When hope is created by someone who does not have honest intentions, it can become a trap. A wrong hope is not simply a dream that fails. It is a hope deliberately created, encouraged, or manipulated by someone for their own benefit. It may come in the form of a relationship, a job opportunity, a business proposal, an investment scheme, a family connection, or even an online friendship. The most dangerous part is that wrong hopes rarely look dangerous in the beginning. They often arrive with a smile, they arrive with attractive words, they arrive with promises, and sometimes they arrive through someone we already trust. Consider a person who meets someone who appears genuinely interested in them. The conversations are warm, there is attention, emotional support, and constant communication. Slowly, trust develops, but the other person may not be looking for a genuine relationship. They may be looking for money, influence, information, physical intimacy, social status, or some other personal advantage. This is fake relationship, where affection becomes a tool for gaining access to someone's emotions and resources. The lesson is not to stop trusting people. The lesson is to understand that trust should be earned gradually, not surrendered immediately. A genuine relationship survives boundaries. A manipulative relationship becomes uncomfortable when you say no. The same principle applies to emotional manipulation. Some people learn exactly what you want to hear. When you are lonely, they give you attention. When you are insecure, they give you validation. When you are struggling financially, they tell you that they understand your situation. They may repeatedly say, "I am always there for you," but eventually the emotional connection becomes a bargaining tool. You are made to feel guilty for refusing their requests. You are told that if you really cared, you would help. You are made responsible for their problems. This is how emotional manipulation works, not necessarily through force, but through guilt, fear, affection, and obligation. Another common form of wrong hope is the fake job offer. Someone promises a high-paying job, an overseas opportunity, or a guaranteed position. The offer appears professional. There may be documents, logos, interviews, and convincing explanations. Then comes the request: pay a registration fee, pay for processing, send money for verification, deposit an amount before joining. The victim is not necessarily careless. The victim is often simply excited. The promise of a better future temporarily becomes stronger than the instinct to verify. That is why every important opportunity deserves independent verification. Do not verify an offer through the person who gave you the offer. Verify it through the actual company, official contact information, and reliable sources. The same psychology appears in get-rich-quick schemes. The message is always attractive: double your money, guaranteed returns, limited opportunity, invest today. The promise is designed to create urgency before you have time to think. A legitimate financial opportunity can be evaluated. A fraudulent promise often demands immediate action. When someone says, "Don't think too much, this opportunity will disappear," that may be exactly the moment when you should stop and think. Another dangerous category is selfish relatives or acquaintances. Not every person who is close to you necessarily has your best interests at heart. Sometimes people remain close because of what you can provide: money, property, influence, contacts, accommodation, business opportunities, or social status. They may appear supportive when everything is going well. But observe what happens when you stop providing benefits. That change can reveal the real nature of a relationship. And then we enter the modern world of fake online identities. A profile picture can be beautiful. A biography can look impressive. A conversation can feel deeply personal. But none of these proves that the person behind the screen is who they claim to be. Someone may create an artificial identity specifically to build trust. They may use photographs of another person, fabricated achievements, and carefully designed conversations. After emotional attachment develops, the requests begin. Money, personal information, photographs, passwords, financial details, or sometimes simply continued emotional control. The digital world has made it possible to create a convincing personality without revealing a real identity. Therefore, online trust must be based on verification, not emotional intensity. But there is something deeper behind all these examples. Why do intelligent and experienced people sometimes fall for wrong hopes? Because deception does not always attack intelligence. It often attacks desire. A lonely person desires companionship. A financially struggling person desires money. A young professional desires a career. A parent desires security for the family. A person facing failure desires one more opportunity. When someone discovers that desire, they can use it to construct a promise. This is why we must understand ourselves. Ask, what am I desperately hoping will happen? What would I be willing to ignore because I want this opportunity to be true? What evidence do I actually have? Am I making this decision because of facts or because I desperately want the outcome? These questions can protect us from many forms of manipulation, and there is one powerful principle we should remember. Never make a major decision merely because someone has made you feel good about it. Feelings are important, but feelings are not evidence. Verify the person, verify the opportunity, verify the documents, verify the financial claims. Take time, seek an independent opinion, and most importantly, learn to say no without feeling guilty. A genuine person may be disappointed by your boundary, but they will respect it. A manipulator will often try to punish you for having one. They may threaten to leave. They may accuse you of not caring. They may create fear. They may become angry. That reaction itself can provide valuable information. Wrong hopes can destroy more than money. They can destroy confidence. They can damage families. They can create emotional trauma. They can make innocent people stop trusting everyone. But the answer is not to become suspicious of the entire world. The answer is to become wise without becoming cynical. Trust, but verify. Love, but maintain boundaries. Help, but don't allow guilt to control you. Dream, but examine the person selling you the dream. And whenever a promise appears too perfect, slow down. Because sometimes the greatest danger is not the person who openly threatens you. It is the person who quietly gives you exactly the hope you have been waiting to hear. The message of wrong hopes is therefore simple. Question every promise. Verify the truth. Protect yourself. Trust your intuition, and value yourself enough to walk away when something doesn't feel right. Because not every smile has pure intentions. Not every promise deserves your trust, and not every hope deserves to become your reality.
Hi, namaste to all. Have a lofty day. Have a lofty day.